Hey there, we're Studio Logics and we are currently working on a 2.5D Soulslike game. So in previous episodes within this series, I've basically been covering features and mechanics that have been implemented into the game. And while I do have some more interesting stuff that I intend to showcase in that area, for this one, I want to do something a bit different and touch on the game's art style for a bit. Specifically, the intended designs of the characters and subsequently where we intend to take the game's narrative. So without further ado, welcome to another Stasis devlog. Now I want to start by saying that you'll have to pardon me as I'll be hinting at story details rather than actually diving into it. And that's mainly because we intend for the player to piece together or infer what exactly is happening in the game's narrative, and I feel that won't be possible if I end up spoiling substantial parts of it right now. That said, one of the things I focused on while thinking about the game's narrative was identifying the themes that we intended to express in the story. One of which was the duality of control and free will, as well as the feeling of being an anomaly within a world that sees you as a threat to its established order. These themes, alongside others, serve as the threads that connect us to this project on a more emotional level, as it is deeply rooted in our collective experiences as well as the media that inspire us. So with those two in mind, during the initial phase of designing the characters, we intended for them to be puppets, as it felt fitting in expressing those themes. But before we go into sketching out any ideas, we decided to go about researching different forms and depictions of puppets, both in real life as well as in other fictional works. Over the course of which, we stumbled upon different forms, like string puppets, automatons, wooden dolls, nutcrackers, and many more along that line. So after we felt that we had gathered enough references to work with, the artists on the team went to work developing our own unique spin on concepts. And these were some of the ideas that came up from that session. Now, while I'll say they look aesthetically pleasing, for some reason it didn't feel quite right. And that's not on the artist not getting the vision, as it's apparent that it works well with the puppet theme, but rather that particular vision started to change. While I wanted to keep the themes I talked about earlier, I wanted it to be a lot more subtle, which made us start analyzing the main elements of those particular themes and what will make it work from a visual standpoint. And with that came a lot more researching and tinkering with ideas as we were looking for something that gave that sort of aha moment. Around this time, I was going through Levi's sketchbook and stumbled upon this particular design. I thought it looked interesting, so I asked him if he could explore the concept a bit more, which he did. And after seeing them, I was really impressed with how simple yet appealing they looked. I remember showing them to a few other friends within our local game developer space, and one of them mentioned that the style reminded them of Limbo for some reason, which I felt was a weird yet fitting resemblance, as Limbo is one of our favorite games and I really loved seeing the sketches and concept art for it. So I guess there were some subconscious influences there. And over time, as more concepts were being created, it only helped in further informing not only the game's art style and aesthetics, but even the game's narrative. But I feel that particular one deserves its own video, so expect that sometime in the future. So for the upcoming public demo, this was the final design we settled upon. I feel quite confident in our intended direction for the game's art style, and we intend to showcase it in-game very soon. Okay, now for the bit where we highlight an indie game that we think will be interesting. And for this video, it is Beyond the Plastic Wall. Honestly, what really got me interested in this project was this particular clip from the developer's Twitter page. Absolutely stunning. And that's the sentiment I feel encapsulates this entire project, as the visuals look really nice. I haven't really seen much being said about the gameplay bits aside from the fact that it's going to be a narrative-driven game with puzzle elements. But honestly, I'm excited to see how this project continues to grow and develop as time goes on. So go support their Twitter account and also wishlist the game on Steam. Thanks so much for watching the video. And as always, we'll be interested in getting your feedback in the comment section below. And also a massive thank you to the members of the Logic's engine who financially support the studio. If you'd be interested in doing the same, as well as getting access to our Discord server and early builds of the game to playtest, consider joining the channel's membership, just like these wonderful people over here. And with that, take care of yourselves and I'll see you in the next one.